Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cashback. Hey guys, welcome to episode number 1 of the second season here at Bayer Leverkusen. We had a really good season last year to start things off in this save with some growth throughout the squad, good competitive play in the Bundesliga, disappointing in the Deutsche Pokal, but we'll aim to do better in that competition this year, and of course now we're involved in Champions League football as well. With regards to what the board want from me this year and my current budget, we're going to be competitive again, or have to be competitive again, especially with the board expectations. I've already had a transfer offer at the beginning of this second season from Werder Bremen for Benjamin Henrichs that I already have rejected of £17.2 million for the young right back. I have 41 million to spend at present. However, we are looking to sell on a couple of players. We'll come to that in a moment. With regards to what the board want from us this year, weirdly it's given me the same short-term one as last season, and candidate is already completed, so brilliant. The long-term one that we had last year rolls over into this year. We have got a handful of other youth players called up now, so it's just a case of training them, getting them up by 10 ratings, and then playing them in substitutes in games that will probably happen more in the Deutsche Pokal than anything else. Brand exposure-wise, want me to sell out at least 90% in 50% of the games. Last year we sold out a minimum of 85% in every single game. So all 17 games we sold out at least 85% capacity, so we should do that. The 90% for this season. Financially, no objectives whatsoever, which means we can spend the money as and how we please. In the Deutsche Pokal, they want me to reach the quarter-final. Should be achievable this year. We'll take that competition a little bit more seriously. Want me to win the Bundesliga, however. We finished second last year, 5 points away from Bayern Munich. That will be a challenge, especially considering they also want me to reach the final of the Champions League. It's no short ask. Now, transfer-wise, I have a number of players on the transfer list. Niklas Lerm, he doesn't need to be replaced because we have a youngster that we're training, already called up, that's fine. Sven Bender, we're looking to sell on as he's now 29. His stats will start to drop. To bring here in a replacement for him, the go-to is Leander Den Donker. He's going to be my Sven Bender replacement. Baumgartlinger and Daniel Kor will be replaced as well. Den Donker will come in handy for replacing all three, but I will probably need an alternative. Although I could use one of the youngsters. Because we do have a number of youth prospects now in a central midfield position. So I might be okay with these. We could sell these guys on and not worry about directly replacing them because we have young talent available to step in for rotation games in the Deutsche Pokal, for example, again. Kainak is still on the loan list. Kevin Volland is up for sale now. Of course, we bought in Timo Werner last year as Volland injured himself out for 7 months. That's going to be where a chunk of my transfer budget this year comes from. Paran Palo, I'm also going to sell. He currently has a release clause of 7.2. I may renegotiate his contract, although I'm probably not going to get much more than 7.2 for him anyway, so I might just leave it as is. The difference of 1 or 2 million isn't going to make any change to my transfer plans this year. One player I am certainly looking to bring in is Julian Draxler. Currently don't have enough money to do so, so I am going to concentrate on Leander Den Donker initially. He's a player I certainly want to try and get brought in this first episode if I can. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think I should do in this window. As I say, we're going to be replacing Sven Bender, so I'm going to throw Tin Jedvai into the starting lineup initially. In fact, no. I was going to throw Dragovic in, but I can't because he's away on international duty. So we've got a number of players actually out on international duty currently with the World Cup ongoing. So the pre-season tournament might be a little bit of a no-show for us. That said, I would like to do well in it because there's an extra £8.5 million that we could add to our transfer budget should we win this pre-season tournament. So it is going to be important that we do as well as we possibly can. I'm going to be rejecting all offers for Jonathan Tah. I could set players to reject all offers, but I find it personally intriguing to see what sort of clubs are interested in my players and what sort of valuation they're willing to pay. Tin Jedvai is a player that also will be going absolutely nowhere. He's a young centre-back that has the opportunity to grow, will be great for that squad rotation role. To be fair, Sven Bender might not need to be directly replaced as a centre-back. Another offer of exactly 17.2 for Henrichs, because we have players like Retsos and Tin Jedvai and Dragovic. So I might not need to directly replace his centre-back, we might already have the squad depth in that position with Dragovic and Retsos and Tienjedvai, meaning that when Dendoncker comes in, because I am going to sign Leander Dendoncker, he can fill in straight as a midfielder and be a single player replacement for Baumgartlinger and for Kor. You can see we have youngsters now at the club, including Bauer and Schulte. Bauer is 3-star skills, 1-star weak foot, unfortunately. Waiting to see what his growth is like. Bauer currently a good prospect, 4-star weak foot, 3-star skills. He could be very good for us if he grows as he potentially could. Hopefully we can do well enough in this pre-season tournament to give ourselves an extra little bit of money. We have AC Milan in the first game. We'll play the first game today, and then I'll play the next 2 games tomorrow in the next episode as I make sure that I record ahead to ensure that we keep up with the daily uploads. Transfer offer in for Wendell, but will also be rejected. Do I try and bring Dendoncker in before the game against AC Milan? No, I don't think I will. Let's see what the current rotation players are like in this first game against AC Milan, and then Dendoncker can come in and we'll be able to gauge if there's an improvement when he becomes involved for the remainder of the pre-season tournament. I'll auto replace just to get past this screen, but I will go ahead and manually alter the starting lineup. Drop the video a like if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any more of this Leverkusen series. Retsos and Jedvai starting at centre-backs for this one. I'm quite happy with that starting lineup, to be fair. We've got Folland on the right-hand side of midfield. What I might do is move Julian Brandt out wide and throw Kevin Folland into the striking role. We've, 4, 7, 9 players away on international duty. That's a hell of a lot of people. But we do have the squad to be able to deal with it currently, numbers-wise. Maybe not quality-wise, but that's what this transfer window is all about. AC Milan first. See if we can get ourselves a win and start this pre-season well. Like I say, £8.5 million on the line with regards the pre-season tournament and adding it to our transfer budget, which might free up the cash to go out and get Julian Draxler sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed anyway. Playing at Paris Saint-Germain's ground. It's Germany versus Italy, however, in France. AC Milan will also be losing a number of players to the World Cup, you would have thought. Pepe Reina and Matteo Misacchio on the bench, though, so they are starting, or do still have some first-team players available, but they're not playing them. Hugo Mayo at right back, Montolivo in midfield, as well as Locatelli, Fabio Barini out wide. Not the strongest of lineups, but equally, I'm not fielding a very strong side either. This will be an intriguing one.
That's good movement forward here.
Zania into Montolivo. Nice tackle by Tienjedvai, that's encouraging. Julian Brandt will race away. I've got Ilario making moves as well. We'll look to slot him in. Good first touch, good second touch, good third touch, good fourth. Decent fifth, but Gerson in the way. Corner for Leon Bailey to take. We'll look to give ourselves a lead here. Jedvai's up. That's blocked well on the line. I'll pull this back. And Retsos can't score either. Both chances falling to centre-backs. Scrambling away. Cleared off the line twice by the AC Milan backline. Bailey into Golovin. He loves a goal from distance. Keeper's made a good, comfortable save, though. Positive start here against AC Milan. Pleased with that. Especially the fact that both centre-backs are getting involved from set plays. Drop for Ilario. Kevin Folland can drop the shoulder here. But Locatelli takes it away from him.
Actually working quite hard, aren't they?
Golovin into Bender.
Early stage of this tournament in Europe, you might get
Bender. Forward there to Ilario. Turns well. I'll get it through that gap to Folland. Ilario's gone again, but I'm going to use Julian Brandt here if I can, and then turn inside. That's a good turn. Please finish this. Oh, outside the woodwork, and that was falling to Leon Bailey, but the defender got there first. It's been all one-way action in this game. I've been very impressed with the way that the rotation players have stepped up. I say rotation players. It is still a fairly strong 11 that I'm starting here. It's not exactly a complete team of nobodies. It's just that the players that have stepped in are like mid to late 70s rather than early 80s. There's their first proper chance of the game, but Biglia fires that wide of the target. Half an hour played, still 0-0. Brandt with a throw. See the run being made there by Folland. Brandt. Oh, cross deflected. Can I flick this backwards? Yes, but not going to find the man that it was intended for. In fact, finds Montolivo, who was marking the man that it was intended for. Biglia driving forward. Oh, very nice tackle by Lars Bender. Brilliantly done. Bailey in there to Ilario. Play that over the top, looking for the runner, Julian Brandt. Oh, it's just got something on that. That'll be my throw, though. What can we do here? I've got someone coming short here from right back. It's Hakimi. Early cross. Oh, big arm up there. Obviously, return well, I haven't turned handballs off. They're off by default on FIFA, which is why we saw a couple of chances last season, most notably that Jonathan Tah one, when the defender just stuck his arm fully out. That's why we didn't see anything given for them. I would turn handballs on, and there were a few comments on that video saying why aren't handballs on? A, they're off by default, and B, they don't really work that well in terms of the video game. In real life, obviously, it's easier to tell, but the game can't really... It's not coded well enough to know, you know, a deliberate handball or an accidental handball, and you end up with like 3 or 4 penalties per game for handball. It just doesn't work very well in FIFA for some reason. So that's why handballs are turned off. They are off by default, like I say. So it's not that I've manually turned them off. I don't know whether any of you have actually noticed that yourselves, that nothing ever gets given for handball. I'm sure the majority of you have. I was quite surprised to see that a number of people in the comment section actually weren't aware that handballs were off by default in FIFA. Good save by Guanone there to stop me from getting myself the lead. Someone did mention actually in the comment section, like, why does the goalkeeper not then just pick the ball up and run? Yes, handballs are off in FIFA, but the rulings for the goalkeeper do still match real life. It's only handball for outfield players that's off. Like, the goalies can't use their hands outside of the box. You wouldn't be able to just pick the ball up with the goalkeeper and then just run the length of the pitch with the ball in your hands. It's not completely unrealistic in that way of things. But 10 minutes into the second half here, still 0-0 between ourselves and AC Milan. We have been the better side, but we can't find a way through. I'm going to need to find a way through if I want to get myself out of this group stage, because it's not the easiest of groups to get out of. Winning the first game really makes things a lot easier with regards to the next two, and a lot less pressure filled, as we've seen from all of the various group stages in the World Cup. Golovin picks it off. Julian Brandt has a load of room to run into there, and Kevin Folland finds him well. Now, has he got the pace to get away from Vergara? He's trying his best. I'm going to turn inside, and Julian Brandt couldn't finish earlier, but can finish now. Hit the post in the first half, buries it in the second. We do at last have our 1-0 lead. Inside to Mayo again. That's a lovely through ball looking for Barini. Outmuscling there with Retsos, and Hakimi's there on the rebound to make sure that he blocks his second effort as well. It's a poor pass from Julian Brandt, looking forward. Jason inside, poor ball from him as well. Into Folland there. And Lario is not blessed with pace. Folland's clearly not blessed with the ability to turn past Biglia either. Biglia. As Pizzi plays 1-2 out to Fabio Barini. Hakimi needs to be careful not to give away a penalty, and he's done well. It's a corner though for AC Milan with 3 minutes to go. They're making a change. Jerson going off. Not sure who's come on. It's Matteo Misakio. That's keeper's ball. Please catch that. Thank you, Kodeki. Wendell. And there to Kevin Folland. Out wide to Wendell again. Turns inside well. Olario. Golovin. Cross to Hakimi. Driving forward. Oh, play that on. No! Biglia cuts it out. That would have been a simple second for Bailey if that ball had just found its way through. As it happens, we might find ourselves being pegged back unless the referee decides to blow his final whistle, which indeed he does. Thank you very much, sir. That will be game. We get ourselves a victory from the first pre-season game, and hopefully the other two drew. AC Milan not able to offer anything there, and Everton beat Bordeaux by 1-0. Napoli beat Liverpool 3-0, and Monaco beat Valencia by 2-1. So victories all round in the group stages. We've got Everton next, I believe. Henriks was disappointed not to play in that. Sorry, bro. We shall... don't want to do that. We shall continue to train. I'll show you what I'm training in a minute. If I eventually can go into the right bloody screen. Here we go. I'm currently training the goalkeeper Weber, Retsos at centre-back, Cartier the left winger, and Bauer the centre-mid. I actually need to call Cartier up, actually, from the youth squad into the first team squad, because he's over 60 rated now, so we should be able to see what his potential is. Yes, you already see a vague indication here, but you can see it says 75 to 94. He's worth 400k. I literally called him up at the beginning of, at the very end of last season. Sorry. Cartier does look decent. It's the only one I can call up actually. The rest are all 15 years old. I also called up this guy Julian actually, he's French. Garnier. So we have Garnier and Cartier. But I'm not sure how good these guys will be long term. But Xavier Cartier was valued at 400k. So I'm presuming that his potential is going to be very high. Let's have a look. Actually, it'd be easier to do it this way, won't it? Because he's a left wing. An exciting prospect. I can't remember off the top of my head what that actually is. He's got 4-star skills though. 2-star weak foot, 4-star skills. That's good. He could be a good acquisition for us on the left-hand side of midfield. But we're still waiting for any bids in for my numerous players on the transfer list. I've had a couple of bids in for other players. A loan offer for Hakimi from Dortmund. If it was someone outside of our league, I might consider that. But I'm not going to. No other... Actually, we might... Oh, no, it's a scouting update. Okay, we'll have a quick look at this. 63 to 87. I'm going to say no to him. 68 to 92. We'll give it another month. 58 to 80. 65 to 89. 60 to 84. No. We'll give Florian Ziegler another month. I don't know what my other scouts are doing, actually. We've advanced as far as the Everton game, so I won't play another game, but I will go and try and sign Den Donker. Scout available. Right, let's send Weber away. Where are the other two? Where's he scouting? Germany and France. This is the guy that was scouting Brazil before, wasn't it? Right. Let's have a look in Southern. Yes, that's how you say it, isn't it? Just Southern Europe. Send him out for 9 months. Scout report available for Schmidt. He's returning on the 11th. And Dennis Hoffman is currently setting up his scouting network again in France. So we'll wait and see what happens with regards his third and final announcement. But let's go out and try and sign Leander Dendoncker then. I know I want to sign him. I'm not sure whether to sign Jota or not. Because of that Cartier kid, I might not need to. Draxler would be utilised at Cam ahead of Brandt, and that would mean that Brandt would then be a rotation winger rather than a first-team player. I might consider selling Bellarabi. To bring in a first-team winger, but maybe we should do that season 3 or later on this year. I'm not sure whether it's the right thing to do at this particular moment in time, and I would prefer to bring in Julian Draxler first. But I'll offer a straight transfer fee for Dendoncker, and I'll offer them exactly what he's worth. I'm not sure how much they value Dendoncker at Anderlecht. 25 million is a lot, but obviously the blow would be lessened by the sale of Sven Bender. I'll offer them 18 and see if they come down somewhat from 25. No, they seem very adamant on that, at least for the time being. How about 21 on the nose? Would you be willing to come down to that? Oh, of course you're going to take some time to come back to me. And then you'll say, no, we want 25.6. Dickheads. Okay, well, I was hoping to bring Dendoncker in this episode, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. But we will do that tomorrow. Like I say, I'll go and record the next episode ahead of time so that I can have time to take on board your feedback before we push too far through the window. And of course, I'm still waiting for player sales anyway, so I'm not able to sign too many players at this stage. PSG have signed Javi Martinez, as you can see on the right, and there was Mehdi Benatia has gone to Barcelona as well. I'm not sure whether that's still on the breaking news tab. It won't load that. Oh no, it will, but it's World Cup related. Oh, could have a look at the World Cup actually, couldn't we? Sort by date, shall we? So actually, let's sort by valuation. Javi Martinez to PSG for 30.6. Juan Bernat to Man United for 20. Tony Janska to Eibar for 11.5. Troy Deeney's come to Germany. Jermaine Lons has gone to Sporting. The deal for Benatia was decided or agreed upon before the beginning of this window, but after the end of the January window last season. So it's not actually shown on this list, which is a shame. Oh, one thing I was going to do last season, I completely forgot to do, was have a look at Dortmund, wasn't it? And see what their striking options are, because we saw that they were playing Maximilian Philipp up top, and I was surprised at that. What strikers do they have? Falcao. They do have Falcao. Strange that they weren't playing him then. No European groups drawn as of yet. Of course, the 4th qualifying round has to be done at the end of July before we get that. Our first Bundesliga game isn't till after the end of the transfer window. So that's a big gap. Okay, never mind. We'll take that on board. I'm surprised it's so late. I am really surprised that it's so late. Anyway, that's the situation we find ourselves in at present. Definitely going to bring in Leander Dendoncker. I've got a number of players I want to move on. How much money? We have 40 million, and I can raise another. Let's have a look, shall we? Say 1, so 41. Say I could get 12 or 13, so 41, 53. Say 10, 63. Say 75, I get about 12 for him. He's on the loan list. upwards of 100 million now if I get 25 for Folland and another... Yeah, I could maybe have about 110 million to spend. So we could bring in Draxler and someone else that's massive. Draxler, Dendoncker and another big name signing, maybe including the sale of Bellarabi. We'll have to wait and see what squad depth looks like in each individual position once we've sold everybody on that list. But for the time being, frustrating not to get Dendoncker in this episode, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Let me know all your feedback in the comment section down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more. We shall round out the group stage, and I could free up another £8 million as well if I win this pre-season tournament, which we are looking like we might get ourselves through to the knockouts after winning that game against AC Milan. So things look good for us right now, and hopefully they'll get even better throughout the window. I'll see you next time.